So what do you need to do going forward? Well, the first thing on the top of the list for everybody, not only for the patient, the family, but especially your doctors and nurses, are addressing any medical concerns. If the patient is still alive, what are the medical concerns going forward? What is the plan of action? This is where you, as a family, really need to step up and be an advocate. If you've lost faith in the doctor, if you've lost faith in the hospital, okay to ask for a different doctor, okay to ask for a transfer. You need to, while you're talking about the medical concerns, think also about your concerns, your needs as a person. When people are going through traumatic events, possibly life-changing events, it's not uncommon to forget about your own basic needs, be it, eating healthy food, figuring out where you're going to stay that night, how are you going to get home. We don't want you behind the wheel. If you're distracted driving, we might have a different tragedy we're going to be dealing with. So you need to think about your own concerns and needs and ask for help. Ask the doctors and nurses, the hospital, for help in meeting these needs, whether it's food, transportation, lodging. If you need a minister, if you need a priest, if you need a counselor, ask for any help. If you need to, have grandma flown in so someone can watch the kids, everything should be on the table. The next thing you need to keep in mind is getting contact information and sharing contact information. There should be a point person on both sides. You should get, the business card for the doctor or for the person from the hospital administration, and make sure that business card has on there a phone number, a cell phone number, a pager, email address, many different ways to get a hold of these people. Same thing for you. If you have a business card, give it to them. If not, write it down on a piece of paper in a legible format. Everybody should be able, people should be able to contact each other and stay in touch during these very tense moments. Take notes and records. Be date and time specific. Start keeping a journal of everything that happened, every conversation that you had, who said what are the next steps, and be as detailed and make sure, if you're doing it by hand, make sure it's legible. And not only, in that journal, not only have the stuff or the details and facts, of life after the potential medical error, also think about what happened before. And again, put it down in as much detail as possible and be date and time specific. And the last piece of advice going forward is remain engaged. Remain engaged. This is one of the big reasons I did this, came up with this campaign for patients and families, because, in Sorry Works, one of the things we teach doctors and nurses to do or not do is not run away after something goes wrong. Because that's in American culture and culture around the world, the typical thought is when something goes wrong, boom, the doctors and nurses, they run away. They run away scared. They head for the hills. And with Sorry Works, we have taught doctors and nurses not to do that, to do the opposite, to remain engaged with patients and families. Say sorry, be proactive, and keep that relationship alive and work in a proactive fashion. Well, the same holds true for patients and families. You need to remain engaged. You can't let your anger get the best of you to the point that you won't go back to the hospital, that you won't talk to the doctor, that you won't answer the phone calls. Because I've talked to numerous doctors and nurses, numerous members of hospital administration teams that are ethical, will disclose and apologize for mistakes, but sometimes they can't get the patient on the phone. They can't get the family to come in for me because these people are so angry they won't go talk to that hospital, and that's just not good for anybody. So remain engaged. It doesn't mean you have to sign anything. It doesn't mean you need to agree with anything. You can just sit and listen and hear what they have to say at the very minimum. And if you get some sort of offer of compensation or whatever, or if you just want to if you don't know what the information means, for goodness sake, go talk to a lawyer at that point. Find qualified, competent legal counsel to sit down and have a conversation. But do yourself a favor, do everybody a favor, and remain engaged. Don't run away. It's not good for doctors and nurses to run away. It's not good for patients and families to run away. Stay involved.